and some money. Okay. And what's this variable closing fee? In the manual processing fee? Amazon fees went up again. How am I supposed to do any of this when I don't understand accounting? Amazon fees are just too high.
Yep, there are three main types of Amazon FBA fees that everyone talks about. The referral fees, the fulfillment fees, the storage fees, and then there are all the other fees no one talks about. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break it down for you. Come with me. Not only that, but Amazon updated their fees as of June 1st, 2021. So today, I'm gonna break down every single Amazon fee for you so that after watching this video, you know exactly what they are for and how to apply that strategically to make your business profitable on Amazon. Also, we're giving away a free Amazon fee breakdown tool, so keep watching to the end, and I'm gonna show you how to get it. Now, with this tool, you will be able to predict exactly what fees you will pay Amazon to make sure you're gonna be profitable before you even purchase your product from the manufacturer to sell on Amazon. Now, there are 10 main kinds of Amazon fees. Can you believe there are 10 kinds of Amazon fees? And today I'm gonna show you what these fees are for and how to calculate how much they will cost you so that you can make sure your Amazon business is cash rich. Now, there are two types of account fees. There's a monthly subscription fees, and then there's per item fees. These are the fees you have to pay to become an Amazon seller. Now, if you have an individual seller account, you do not have a subscription fee. Amazon will charge an individual account seller $1 for every product you sell. Now, this is in addition to the other fees. If you have a professional seller account, you are charged $40 per month. And in that case, Amazon will not charge a professional seller account the $1 for every product sold. So, if you sell more than 40 units per month, then you are saving money by choosing the professional seller account. Not only that, but you get tons of tools that help you sell better, like inventory spreadsheets, reports, PPC advertising, even API functions if you're interested in that, access to promoting your product, gift services, and a ton more. Okay, we have to move on. Do you realize how many fees we have to go through today? If you appreciate this super in-depth video that I'm about to bring you, please be sure to like it right now and subscribe, because I notice some of you guys are watching these videos, but you're not subscribing, and it hurts my heart. Referral fees are Amazon's cut of every sale. Referral fees have you paying Amazon because you're referring, or they are referring the customer to you. It's kind of like if I refer Bobby McGee to buy a house from Lucy Pickleberry, and Lucy Pickleberry gives me a cut of the sale because I referred Bobby to her as the real estate agent. It's a commission. That's what an Amazon referral fee is for. Now, if you weren't able to sell on Amazon, you would have to build your own website. You would have to market it for months. This will cost you literally thousands of dollars, and you still would not have the brand trust that Amazon gives you just for the simple fact that people are buying on Amazon's trusted platform. I've seen a lot of people complain and whine about the referral fee, and they do not understand the value of selling on Amazon. Yes, you're going to pay Amazon for selling on their platform, but the time and the money it long-term saves you. I mean, just to get your website ranking at the trust that Amazon's does, it's not even comparable. You can't even count that in dollars. So it is worth using Amazon's platform. At the least, launch your product there, and then you can scale it out on other platforms and your own website as well. Referral fees are 15% of the sell price for most categories. It's really easy if you just remember that number. Referral fees can range as low as 8% for things like personal computers and as high as 45% for selling Amazon device accessories, but the vast majority of categories have a referral fee of 15%. Referral fees are also charged on shipping and gift wrapping. If you're fulfilling your own orders or you're doing the gift wrapping yourself, this is really important for you to understand. If you are shipping the product and the customer pays $3, let's just say that the product costs $10 and you add on another $3 for shipping, then that 15% referral fee is the total combined of the cost of the product plus the shipping. For example, let's just say you were to charge $1 for shipping and the referral fee for your category is 15%. Then your referral fee costs you an additional 15 pennies. Referral fees scale down if you offer discounts. I've seen a lot of confusion about this online. This is so important. For example, let's just say you are selling a $100 lamp. Do you like my lamp? You are selling a $100 lamp, but your normal referral fee is going to be $15. But if you reduce your lamp in half, so you're doing this giant sale of $50 instead of $100, then your referral fee would cut in half to $7.50. Do you know how good this is? This means if you decide ever to do a great promotion on Amazon, like let's say, you know what, I want the coupon code on there, I want to do buy two and get one for free, it doesn't impact your percentage of fees to Amazon. Amazon's fair. Their percentage is the same, but it drops with the sale price, unlike sales tax. Now, referral fees have changed as of June 1st, 2021. First, Amazon has split appliances into full-size and compact categories, and then they've lowered the fee for full-size appliances to 8% while keeping the fee for the compact category unchanged. Second, Amazon increased the referral fee for the personal computers category from 6 to 8%. It's not going to break the bank, but you should know about this. Third, Amazon increased the referral fee for the veterinarian diet pet food category to 22%. Now, if your product is priced low enough, and we don't recommend this, we recommend you sell higher selling products, not lower selling, Amazon will round up the referral fee to a minimum referral fee. That's what they call it, minimum referral fee of, do you like that? A minimum referral fee of 30 cents for most categories. This is what makes Amazon so amazing. Fulfillment fees are charged per unit sold when sellers utilize what is called fulfillment by Amazon, FBA for short. This is when you pay Amazon to fulfill orders for you from their fulfillment centers. So for example, let's just look at this from a customer perspective. You go shopping on Amazon and you see this little check mark, Prime. You know what I'm talking about? The vast majority of time, that means those products are shipping directly from Amazon's fulfillment centers. I love paying this fee. Seth, what's wrong with you? My wife sometimes asks the same question. You want to know why? Not why she asked the same question, but why I love paying this fee, because of the value I get from FBA. I get to pay Amazon not only to ship the product to the buyer for me, but they will handle customer service and any other admin stuff that is necessary. Amazon used to break down fulfillment fees into about a dozen smaller fees, and it drove everyone crazy because of everything they do. But now they just keep it simple. I will never forget the day staying late up at night with my family, bringing out the tape and boxing box after box after box of products we needed to ship out. And that was exciting because the sales were going up, but our energy was going down. Our sleep was going down. I was running out of the most underestimated asset in all of time, and that is time. Amazon gives you time back in your day. So while they're taking care of the fulfillment of the orders, you can work on growing your business. FBA is optional. You don't have to do it, but customers will often filter by Prime, meaning that if they use that filter and you don't use FBA, the customer will never see your product. That's not a good place to be in. They will filter by Prime, not only because that means they'll get the product faster, but there is an increased trust when the product is Prime. When you're using FBA, you are leveraging the trust shoppers already have in Amazon. Now, when you don't opt for FBA, you are choosing fulfilled by merchant, FBM. You can also think of it as fulfilled by me. If you choose to fulfill orders yourself, I highly recommend using a third-party logistics provider to help you. Check out our video on 3PL providers right here. You pay Amazon FBA fees based on your product dimensions and the weight, including the retail packaging. That's part of the weight. And you will pay more for the larger, heavier products. Now, a millennia ago, everyone said, hey, if you want to sell on Amazon, make sure you only find a product that fits inside a shoebox. Well, it doesn't matter how large your product is or how much you're into shoeboxes, as long as you make a good enough profit on those products. We here at Just One Dime recommend a minimum profit margin of 40%. I don't care if that product's as big as a house, as heavy as a dump truck. If your profit margins are strong, why wouldn't you invest in the product and sell it on Amazon? The weight of your product and the retail packaging combined can be measured in two ways. Now remember, your FBA fees are based on both. First, it can be the actual weight of the product and retail packaging on the scale. So if I take my product, I put it in the retail packaging, I put it on the scale, that's how they determine, along with the dimensions, what the FBA fees are. But there's something else called dimensional weight, and it confuses a lot of people, and I'm going to break it down right now. Dimensional weight is the volume of your product packaging divided by the number 139. This is Amazon's way of accounting for the increased cost of shipping something larger even though it may be light, such as a giant box of cotton balls. I mean, that's pretty light, but Amazon has to account for the size. Otherwise, it's not going to be profitable for them either. So what Amazon does, and by the way, all shipping companies do this, and they all have their own calculations and secret formulas for how they determine this. Amazon calculates what is called dimensional weight like this. Unit volume, which is length times width times height in inches, assuming you're selling in .com, divided by that special number, 139. Now, if the resulting calculation is greater than the actual weight of the product with the retail packaging, then your FBA fees are charged as a percentage of the dimensional weight. But if the resulting calculation is less than your actual weight, then your FBA fees are charged as a percentage of the actual weight. For example, if you sell something big and light, like a big box of foam, let's say it weighs 3 pounds. That's pretty light. And it measures 10 by 10 by 10 inches. You know that your dimensional weight will be 10 by 10 by 10, which equals 1,000 cubic inches divided by 139. 1,000 divided by 139 is 7.2. So your foam product that actually weighs 3 pounds would be counted as weighing 7.2 pounds, aka your dimensional weight. And they charge your FBA fees based on the dimensional weight because it is the greater of the two. Let me just take a moment to show you how FBA fulfillment fees break down. Your product will fall under one of 6 different size tiers. You have small standard, large standard, small oversize, medium oversize, large oversize, and special oversize. Your FBA fee depends on which size tier that your product falls into. Now, obviously, the bigger the product, the higher the fee. These tiers are based off of your product dimensions and weight, including your retail packaging. In fact, let me show you using a sheet that you can get at jod.com/fees, jod.com/fees. You can click on the link below in the description. Check this out. I put this together for my own help, and we began to share it with our coaches. We began to share it with our students. And now we are going to share it with you as well. Now, I have to tell you, this is the non-member version. If you want the totally pimped out, amazing, on steroids version, you have to be a member of Just One Dime. First, you have your referral fee. What's it for? Explanation. FBM, fulfilled by merchant, or FBA, fulfilled by Amazon. And then it gives you some key info. Now let's look at the next kind of fee. The next kind of fee is your fulfillment fee. And right here, it breaks down all the most important detail you need. You know, one of the most frustrating things about Amazon is oftentimes they don't just have one document that gives it all to you in one place. Even these 10 different fees I'm giving to you, Amazon has no one place where it says, hey guys, we thought it'd be easy. We'll give it to you in one place, just one big list. They don't do that. That's why Just One Dime exists, to make your life easier and to give you the information so you can build a business that is profitable. Notice also, if I continue scrolling down, you have your storage fees. This also gives you data on, now obviously fulfilled by merchant is irrelevant because this is only when you're storing it with Amazon, and you have standard size and you have oversized, and you have your key info for both. And then you have your other fees, and that is for Just One Dime members only. If you want to become a member, go to jod.com/freedom. You need to fill out an application to see whether or not we would work with you. This sheet uses the fees as of June 1st, 2021. Now, if this sheet doesn't line up with what you already know, that is why. Now let me show you how fulfillment fees have changed. Packaging weight no longer applies. This is so awesome. There was a day where you had to account for how heavy Amazon's cardboard box and bubble wrap were when you calculated your product's weight. I'm not talking about the retail packaging that you have the supplier create for you and put your product inside in order to make it beautiful. I'm talking about the box in which it ships. Now, Amazon has removed that, and thank God, because it confused many sellers and pushed some products up a size tier, costing sellers more than they thought they would owe and reducing their profit margins. That practice is now gone. Thank you, Amazon. Tier sizing has also changed. What I just showed you is the most current version. There are also more divisions between a tier on what you have to pay. For example, your product can, be large standard size, but what you pay depends on which of the 6 weight tiers your product falls into. For example, a large standard size product that weighs 2 pounds will be charged differently from a product that weighs 10 pounds. Dimensional weight now only applies to products that are 12 ounces, in other words, 0.75 of a pound, and above. It used to only apply to products under 1 pound. In other words, if your product dimensions fit within the small standard guidelines and your product is under 12 ounces, then you don't even have to worry about dimensional weight being larger than your shipping weight. That's good news. Fulfillment fees are different for clothing and dangerous goods compared to the other categories. Now, the tier sizing is the same, but what you pay under each tier is different for these specific categories, so keep that in mind, and we've included a link in the description below if that's your category. By the way, guys, don't let this overwhelm you. I'm gonna give you all the breakdown you need to know. We have the tools to make this as simple as possible so you can focus on being profitable as an Amazon seller. In fact, later I'm going to show you something so awesome that allows you to immediately see all the fees for your products. You can say, am I going to reach a minimum 40% profit margin? You better, because that's what you need to do if you want to grow your business. Your FBA product needs to have an FNSKU or GCID barcode. This is how Amazon tracks your units in their fulfillment center. If you don't have these, then you're going to have a problem. So you can apply these, have your supplier apply these, or pay Amazon to apply the barcode for you. The best option, if you sell at a reasonably high volume, is that you have your supplier print the barcode right onto your retail product packaging. Now, this barcode, the FNSKU, should not be confused with the UPC that you need to list your product on Amazon's website. Check out our full video on what barcodes you need for your Amazon business right here. We even do like a background historical documentary. We filmed it in over 100-degree weather, but it's still pretty cool. FBA storage fees are what sellers pay to have products stored in the Amazon fulfillment center. This is huge. When Amazon's shipping these products for you, it is giving you time back so you can work on growing your business. This means products are shipping while you're sleeping. You don't have to wake up to 500 orders and say, oh my goodness, how late is this gonna take? Amazon takes care of that for you. And you're like, but Seth, they take so much of my profits. I know, but if you did a good job in finding products that are highly profitable in advance and you already knew these fees, for what reason would you not be profitable? Why not pick a product that will give you the profit margins you need so you can scale your business? Why not take that extra time on launching more products and you end up far more wealthy than feeling like, man, I have to ship every product myself because I have to control everything. That is not smart thinking. Storage fees are based on cubic feet. Now, the storage fee will also change depending on the season. Storage fees are going to be highest, as you probably figured, during the holiday Q4 season from October 1st to December 31st. That is the most amazing time to sell on Amazon. Like, it's mind-melting. Here's how to calculate your FBA storage fees. Luckily, there are only two size categories for storage fees. You have what's called standard size and you have oversize. Now, for standard size, you will end up paying 75 cents per cubic foot from January to September. And from October to December, you will pay $2.40 per cubic foot. Now, for oversize, you will end up paying 48 cents per cubic foot from January to September, and $1.20 per cubic foot from October to December. To know your cubic footage, measure each side of your product in feet. For example, if your product measures 1 foot wide by 1 foot tall by 1 foot deep, then your product is 1 cubic foot. Now, since a product of that size is small oversize, you're going to multiply your cubic footage, which is 1, by 48 cents, and that, my friend, is your storage cost per month. Yes, your 1 cubic foot product costs you 48 cents per cubic foot per month for most of the year per product. I mean, if you do it right, guys, storage fees are almost like nothing. A lot of Amazon sellers don't even include them in their costs. I think you should, but they're minimal. If you have large storage fees, that means you're doing something wrong. That means you have a product that is not selling well enough, and dead inventory is the death of your business. You have to either liquidate it or get it moving. Storage fees are the smallest of the fees that we've covered so far. Pro tip, use the free Fulfillment by Amazon revenue calculator. In fact, I'm going to show you right now how to do this. This will make your life so much easier. Okay, so first I'm gonna go to Amazon and I'm going to grab this ASIN right here. Notice this after the DP. I'm gonna copy that for the genuine leather crossover bags for women. I'm gonna come over here to the Amazon revenue calculator and I'm gonna drop it into the search bar. Now, it's very easy to find this Amazon revenue calculator. All you have to do is Google it. If you already have a Seller Central account, easy to do. Now I'm gonna hit search. Okay, now let's just say we want to sell this for $47, which is a very reasonable price. Now notice, I'm ignoring the Your Fulfillment column. That's for FBM. You would think they would say FBM. You would think they would make it simple. Amazon, but it's okay. Amazon Fulfillment is FBA because I like my sleep and I don't want to stay up till 4 in the morning shipping products, spending all my time with a roll of packaging tape. Now, the cost to ship to Amazon, we're going to put it at $2. The average inventory units stored per product is 1. And then the cost of the product, we're gonna put it at 7. And I'm gonna hit calculate. Now watch what happens, you guys. Immediately, I can see my net profit is $24 per sale and my margin is 52%. And that is before I have spent any money on PPC. But what I love about this is it includes my COGS, because look guys, I already put it in here, right here, $7, as well as the $2 for shipping. The $7 is the cost for having a supplier build the product. The $2 is the cost for having a shipper or a freight forwarder, because a shipper is kind of a weird word, is the cost of COGS. In other words, cost of goods sold. But this also includes all my Amazon fees, which I love. Look at this. Total revenue, $47, of course, because that's what I'm selling it for. You can see my Amazon seller fees. The referral fee we talked about, look at that, which is typically 15%. There it is. That's because I'm selling on Amazon's platform. What about the fact that Amazon ships these orders for me when a customer buys? That's this right here. Fulfillment by Amazon fees is $5.42. So my total fulfillment costs is $7.42 because they're including the $2 cost of shipping from the supplier to Amazon's fulfillment center as well. Isn't this cool? I love this. Oh, and it's gonna cost me a whopping 15 cents to store. I don't know, guys. I don't know if I can do this. I should give up on Amazon. I can't. That's 15 cents. I just don't know what to do. You guys see how cool this is? This gives you perspective. Storage cost is like nothing. Fulfillment by Amazon depends on the size and the weight. The most important thing is how much can I sell it for and how much will it cost me to have it manufactured and shipped to Amazon. Because of this data, I can quickly make a very wise decision as an Amazon seller. Now, these are different than regular storage fees. These are special because they're called long-term. As a general rule, you should never, ever, 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 did I say ever, have a long-term storage fee on your listing. Let me explain why. A long-term storage fee is charged when your FBA products are left unsold. They're not moving. Remember, movement is life when it comes to inventory. And sitting in Amazon's fulfillment center for 12 months. I mean, it's like taking, let's just say you spent $5,000 in your order and you put $5,000 for 12 months in a bank with no interest. It's the stupidest thing an investor could ever do. You got to make your money work for you. Money is not just a thing, it's a tool. You're supposed to put it to work. Go make me more money. That's what your money's supposed to do. Well, that is money sitting in the inventory fulfillment center, and it is costing you money. It's not just frozen cash, it's cash that is decreasing in value, and that's bad. It's like owning a real estate property, and you have everything in values going down. Think 2008. The long-term storage fee is charged on a per individual product basis. In other words, Amazon keeps track of your units and they ship the units they first receive first in, first out. For example, let's just say you sell very fashionable just one dime water bottles and your first shipment is 200 units. Now, 3 months later, you send another 200 units to fulfillment centers for Amazon. Now, let's say you sold 200 units in under 1 year. Before that 1 year time frame, you are selling units from the second batch of 200 units. In that case, you will not be charged a long-term storage fee because you had no product sitting there for more than 12 months. If, however, you sold under 200 units from that first batch, let's say you sold 190 and 12 months go by, then you would owe long-term storage fees on those 10 units from your first 200 batch that have been sitting in fulfillment centers for 1 year. You would not owe long-term storage fees on your second batch of 200 units for another 3 months because it hasn't been 12 months yet. You see why this is very dangerous. Sitting inventory is cash, and if it starts costing you money, it's like taking blood out of the body of your business. Not the best thing to do. Amazon used to charge you long-term storage fees when your product had been sitting in fulfillment centers for 6 months instead of 12. And then they increased the fee at 12 months, charging sellers every 6 months. Amazon has simplified this for sellers. Thank you, Amazon. Long-term storage fees are on top of regular storage fees. So if Amazon charges you $6.90 per cubic foot or 15 cents per unit, whichever is greater. Long-term storage fees are assessed on the 15th of each month. Now, if you do a removal order before either of these dates, you will not be charged the long-term storage fees, even if the removal order has not shipped out from the fulfillment center yet. Check out this video on Amazon FBA inventory management to avoid both the long-term storage fees and to avoid going out of stock. Now, if you are new to Amazon, you may not even know what this is. It's important you understand. I'll tell you why. Because it's going to impact your brand. Removal and disposal fees are when sellers pay Amazon to remove their items from FBA inventory. You might want to perform a removal order if you want to avoid long-term storage fees, or if you have an unsellable damaged product in your inventory, which can be a really big problem. If your reviews are telling you there's a problem, or you're getting negative seller feedback from your product and there's a problem, you got to fix it. And the only way to do that is you have to have them removed from Amazon's fulfillment center, and they have to be shipped to the same country in which you are selling. So if you live in Germany but you're selling in the US, your removal order, those products have to go to a state in the US. You cannot bring them back to the fatherland. Removal and disposal fees have changed as of June 1st, 2021. These fees are tiered by standard size and oversize and then weight. These tiers remain the same before and after June 1st, 2021. All that has changed is the pricing for each tier. And as you can guess, it's gone up. We left a link to the exact numbers in the description below. Now listen, do not blow a blood vessel over this. If you built a great product, if you did a good product inspection, if you follow the training we teach, You should rarely ever have to even worry about these fees because the customer loves your product. So why would you do a removal order? But you still need to know, because if that happens, it can impact your brand. You got to move fast. Now, this is a very unique one. A variable closing fee is $1.80 charged to sellers per media item that is sold. Now, media items are going to include books, DVDs, music, software, and computer video games, video game consoles, and video game accessories. This is really relevant if you're doing arbitrage, because a lot of arbitrage people sell these kinds of products. FBA fees for media products are no longer different than it is for most product categories. This changed in 2018. When you refund a buyer for their purchase of a media product, you are not refunded the variable closing fee. Amazon keeps that money in their pocket. If there was any fee that could be more innocuous, hidden, weird, unpredictable, this is the one. And that's why I'm going to break it down for you right now. Amazon charges a fee when a customer is refunded or a return for some product category is processed. Refund administration fee. Right up front, when a refund or return happens with the product that you sold, you will be refunded the referral fee and tax, but not the fulfillment fee. That's just the cost of doing business. When you refund a customer and Amazon refunds you the referral fee, they're going to withhold 20% of the referral fee with a cap of $5 max per unit as their administration fee for processing the refund. Let me break it down in an example. Let's say you are selling a $100 bow. By the way, this is a horrible product to sell on Amazon. I just like bows. I'm not talking about the kind that you put in your hair. Whenever you sell it, you are charged a 15% fulfillment fee. One day, Bobby McGee goes to Amazon and he pays for a bow. You pay Amazon $15 in fulfillment fees, also known as FBA. Then the shopper complains in a review that the string broke. So you issue a refund. Now, before I move on, I have to say something. For those of you guys out there who whine and complain and fight over every single refund and try to nickel and dime and save every single penny you can, you will never grow a big Amazon business because you're so stressed out about the little things. You need to think big. Do you know what I do? Every single time a customer requests a return or refund, I have my Amazon Seller Central account set up so it automatically gives them a full refund. You know why? Because I'm thinking big, I want to scale. I struggle with this in the early days. I would see customers take advantage and like, oh yeah, it's broken. I get the product after a removal order. It's not broken. It's perfectly fine. These people are taking advantage of us. What is wrong with this hooligan? And then I had to remember, you know what, Seth, your ego probably isn't worth saving your ego to keep your business small. Why not just let that go and grow your business huge? Because once you grow it big, the few people who do game the system are never going to topple your business. And so I had to get out of my own way. For that customer refund on the bow, you will be credited back most of the $15 referral fee, but Amazon will retain 20% of that fee, which is $3. The refund administration fee maxes out at $5. So if your bow, let's just say this thing costs $300, where 20% of the referral fee would then be $9. Instead, Amazon would only be withholding $5 because that's the cap per unit. Now let's talk about the other of these fees, the returns processing fee. When your customer returns a shoe or apparel product to Amazon's fulfillment center, Amazon charges you what is called a returns processing fee. This is because Amazon is trying to overcome a very common objection shoppers have when they're shopping online instead of in brick and mortar retail stores. They don't know if the shoe or the coat's gonna fit, so Amazon makes it easier for them and they offer these shoppers free return shipping and then they charge you the returns processing fee. Now, some people are like, man, I just feel like Amazon's nickel and diming. Please understand, most of these fees now I'm talking about are minimal. Not only they're small, but in many situations, they are the exception, not the norm. Second, it's your job to know your number so you can grow a business that is profitable. That's why I showed you the Amazon revenue calculator. If you have a healthy 40% profit margin before PPC, there is no reason on this amazing planet that we live on that you cannot succeed doing this. These fees cannot tank your business if you are being a smart businessman or businesswoman. The returns processing fee is based on the product's size and weight, kind of like the FBA fee. To give you an idea of the pricing, if your product fits in the standard size tiers, not talking about these tiers, I'm talking about the tier, T-I-E-R, you will pay between $2.12 and $6.81. As of June 1st, 2021, returns processing fees have changed. Amazon has made the returns processing fees for apparel and shoes the same when before they used to cost different amounts. In fact, Amazon brought down the returns processing fees for shoes and apparel. Amazon also eliminated the returns processing fee for watches, jewelry, handbags, sunglasses, and luggage. Yes, there is now zero returns processing fee for those products. Yes, Amazon has raised some fees. They have also reduced others, and in many cases, they have simplified. Thank you, Amazon. So, if you sell anything other than clothes or shoes, and the buyer returns your product to fulfillment centers, you will be refunded the referral fee, minus the 20%, the sales tax, because it's not your money anyways, it goes to the state, and the variable closing fee too, if you sell media products. You want to talk about getting nitpicky? My friends, we have just gone down that path. Here we go. An unplanned service fee occurs when a barcode is missing or there are safety issues with your product or your boxes in which you ship to Amazon or the pallets upon which they arrive from the ship. These types of fees are charged differently based on the problem and the size of your unit. Now, the solution to this is simply do a really good job of running your business. Be responsible. These are for mistakes that you shouldn't be making anyways. That's why we teach people how to do this correctly. So you should be able to avoid this fee. The manual processing fees occur if you choose not to provide an FNSKU, stands for Fulfillment Network Stock Keeping Unit label, and instead you have Amazon manually apply these at the fulfillment center. And by the way, that's not a mistake, that's just a choice. I highly recommend you just have the supplier print that FNSKU label into the retail packaging. It'll make your life easier, it's simpler, it's cleaner, it's more professional. It's up to you. Units of any size are charged the same manual processing fee. Now we show you step by step how to create your product shipping plan in our Amazon FBA Mastery membership. And we don't stop there. We start with how to build a foundation. We talk about LLCs, C Corps, even offshore companies, because we're a little bit nerdy like that, sales tax, insurance, all the stuff most people don't even want to touch. Accounting, all of that. We teach it to you so you can confidently build a business from a foundation that is solid. Then we teach you how to find a product, how to differentiate your product, how to find a supplier you can trust, how to communicate, how to negotiate, how to get the samples, how to have it built, how to check the product before you send them the remaining 70% to make sure your money is well spent and invested and not wasted on a scam supplier, and then how to get it shipped to Amazon's fulfillment centers, how to get it labeled, how to get it selling, how to do PPC, and how to scale that thing literally into millions. JOD.com/freedom. I will continue. The manual processing fees go up every November and December. Then they come back down in January, kind of like the other fees we were talking about, the storage fees. Manual processing fees have changed as of June 1st, 2021. The manual processing fee went up 5 cents, from 10 cents to 15 cents for most of the year. Now, if that breaks your business, we need to have another different kind of conversation. The manual processing fee went up 15 cents, from 15 to 30 cents for November and December. For the latest Amazon FBA news, like the Amazon fee update in June 2021, check out our 10-cent playlist right here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm so happy to say we have come to the final and the 10th point. Now, I did not leave this one to the last because I think it's the least important. It's actually incredibly important. Now, sponsored ads aren't required, but imagine that you just created a new listing to sell your water bottle on Amazon. When you start on Amazon, you have no ranking. Ranking is how high up in search results your listing appears when a customer searches cool, JOD.com, water bottle. Do you even show up? If you're on page 77, no one is gonna buy it, not even Bobby McGee. If you wanted to pop up in the first page of search results, I mean at the top, where most results happen, where over 70% of all the sales happen, then you need sales to increase your ranking. That is the ranking you don't pay for. It's called organic ranking. But in order to make those sales, you need to rank. You need to be seen. You need to be visible. And you need to be seen in order to make sales. The solution? Sponsored ads. The most used type of sponsored advertising is called PPC. It stands for pay per click advertising, where the seller, you promote your listing in shopper search results. You pay for ranking. When you do this, shoppers will see your product as sponsored, but it's small, and it gives you visibility, which you need for sales. You bid on search terms, in other words, keywords, separately. How much you bid will determine how high your sponsored ad will appear in the search results page for each term, as well as the relevance of the keyword is going to also impact that. Now, this is essentially a must for when you sell your own products on Amazon. PPC gives you the chance to make your product visible so that then people can click on it, they buy it, then it starts to rank on its own, then you can lower your advertising cost. It also gives you data you can use to optimize your listing and make it amazing. How do I optimize? Well, if I notice that every time I include the picture where it shows the prominent, beautiful handle, then I'm going to use that as my featured photo because that's the kind of keyword when people search it, they tend to buy. That's called optimization. Sponsored brand videos, other than PPC, are keyword targeted, cost per click video ads that appear in a shopper's search results. If you would like us to do a whole video about this, just tell us below. I would like to know. The other kind of sponsored fees are called editorial recommendations. These are keyword targeted articles that promote product listings in shopper search results. Now, in this situation, you pay an upfront cost for editorial recommendations, but what's super cool is you will always only pay 10% per purchase, not per click. In other words, if they don't buy, you don't pay. This creates amazingly low-cost advertising for what you get in return. And having those articles on there raises the validity and the credibility of your product. These are actually publishing houses writing articles about why they love your product. Now, check out this full video right here where we actually show you how to get your own editorial recommendation. By the way, this is super exclusive. No one else is doing this like Just One Dime is. Like, we have a special relationship with a company that can get you onto this via Amazon. I'm gonna show you how to find all your fees in Seller Central because I bet at this point your brain's just like, I mean, I'm even seeing the guys behind the camera and they're like, so I'm trying to keep it entertaining. But it is hard, I know. It's a ton of data, I hear you. I'm gonna make it easy for you as much as I can, so watch my screen. What you're gonna do is you're gonna hover over reports and go to payments. From payments, you're gonna go to transaction view. And then down here, you can scroll through any of these you want to, but let's just hop over to this one. And I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna click under total. Now this is gonna give me a transaction breakdown, which I love. Look at this. So here you can see the product charge is $40.90. You can do this on any one of your listings so you know all the fees. Then over here, you can see the tax. Now that's sales tax. Remember, don't worry about it. It's money that they send and that gets remitted to the state in most cases by Amazon. So it's not money you make or lose. It just kind of runs through you. Then here you have a refund to the buyer, because in this case it was refunded. I think this is a perfect example. So you can see the refund. And then down here, it includes these two up here. Here you can see the withheld tax. Look at that, marketplace withheld tax. It was credited back. And then here you can see the referral fee and then the refund administration fee we talked about, that good old 20%. And finally, the change to your seller account balance is negative $35.99. Now, I could do the same thing using another example without a refund. That's a more complicated example. If you can literally do what I just showed you, you're gonna know the vast majority of the fees for products that you're already selling. And if you're looking to sell a new product, use the Amazon Revenue Calculator tool that I showed you earlier. Now, this list I've given you today does not include fees for special programs like Amazon Renewed, multi-channel fulfillment fees, and other things. You'll have to check out our Amazon FBA Mastery membership if you want to learn about those. Now, before I go, I just want to say one more thing. People often ask me why I love talking about accounting, fees, and numbers. I know those aren't the most sexy topics. I mean, who would think so? Here's the reality. You must know your numbers if you want to build a business. At the end of the day, your business depends on the finances. And a business that is sucking money out versus bringing money in, it's like having a newborn baby and they're dying of hunger. You must feed your business. You can't feed your business if you're not responsible with your finances. So if this scares the heck out of you, that's good. I'm glad, because that means you realize building a business as an Amazon is not easy. And yet it is one of the most life-changing things you can do, because it can give you the freedom to do the things you love with the people you love. Right now during this video, we have made thousands of dollars selling in Amazon while I've been teaching this to you. That's extremely passive. Because of the work done earlier, I'm getting paid when I'm not working. Now, if you want to get the free Amazon fee breakdown tool, go to jod.com/fees. One more thing before I let you go. Putting this together took many, many hours. Not just me, other people, our staff, Jay writing, like so much, the camera team. So it means a lot to us. If you like this video, if you subscribe, and click on that notification bell so you get the next video next time it comes out. You have an awesome day.
Oh, now I get it. Thanks to this sheet here that I've downloaded at jod.com/fees. Here I can look at my referral fees, my fulfillment fees, my storage fees, and hey, when I become a member of Just One Dime's AFM course, Amazon FBA Mastery at jod.com/freedom, then I can get the full sheet and learn even more. Variable closing fees, those don't trip me up anymore. Thanks, Seth. So I'm liking this video and I'm subscribing because I'm cool like that, and I appreciate learning more about how to become a great Amazon seller. Really, like, wait a second. How do I do accounting? Seth never answered that for me. Gosh, I guess I'll have to subscribe and watch for a later video when we go over that. Huh. Something to think about.